releases list of 260 nominees for the position of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives. Global attention drawn to the need to make an effort to keep our surroundings clean. The last Mad Cathedral, spanning more than 100 years in the North, celebrated, and in the USA, a doctor has his medical license revoked after saying mask wearing can lead to carbon monoxide poisoning. Live on GBC News and GTV. It's time for news. Hello, good evening. I am Siyoko Kwakutre. The much anticipated list of nominees for the position of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives is officially public. At a media briefing in Accra, the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Mr. Dan Butcher, said the 260 nominee list of MMDCEs has been submitted to the regional ministers and Electoral Commission for further action.
The list of the 260 nominees being released today is the only list by the President, which will be submitted or has been submitted to the Honorable Regional Ministers and the Electoral Commission for further action. This list has been uploaded, Mr. Minister, on the Facebook page of Ministry of Information, and the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Development website. And you realize that on each of these pages, this green ink has been initialed by Mr. President. Order 15 of the model standing orders for this municipal and metropolitan assemblies 2019 provides, and I read, the President, Order 15, the President may nominate one person for approval by the Assembly to be appointed as the District Chief Executive. Order 15.2, the Electoral Commission shall, within 21 days of the President notifying the Secretary to the Assembly of the nomination, conduct a ballot on the nominee. Voting shall be by secret ballot. It is therefore expected that the process will be smooth and orderly, while the general public will be law-abiding and conduct their affairs in a lawful manner.
Hundreds of Catholics from home and beyond at the Our Lady of Seven Sorrows Minor Basilica, also known as the last Mad Cathedral at Navrongo in the Kasina Nankana municipality of the Upper East region for the centenary celebration of the structure. It is to showcase the surviving Mad Cathedral, which currently serves as a tourist center spanning more than 100 years in the north.
The Navrongo Catholic Cathedral building is entirely built of mud bricks and plastered with mud mortar. It is a mix of European architecture and local construction techniques. The cathedral is 60 meters long and 14 meters wide, with a 13-meter high bell tower. In April 1906, 3 missionaries, Father Cholet, Father Morin and Brother Eugene, arrived at the English military garrison of Navro to evangelize. In 1907, a first small chapel was built, followed by a larger community chapel in 1910. The cathedral itself was completed in 1920 and worshippers used the building for the first time. The building has undergone many structural changes and is still in use. The cathedral is the last of its kind in Ghana. On average, 100 tourists from Israel, Germany, Spain and England visit the Mad Cathedral. The Bishop of the Navrongo Bolgatanga Diocese of the Catholic Church, Most Reverend Alfred Agenta, said 100 years in the lifespan of a building constructed entirely from mud is a great achievement, especially in a nation noted for its poor maintenance culture.
that a Basilica Maintenance Fund has been created to receive every form of support for the continuous maintenance and conservation of the minor basilica.
The Apostolic Nuncio to Ghana, Most Reverend Henrik Mieczysław Jagozinski, commended the leadership of the minor basilica for maintaining the facility.
This jubilee is a testimony that the gospel in this part of your country did not come yesterday, but has a long history behind it and has taken deep roots. Before this beautiful church was built, many years of evangelization has had to pass until the number of Catholics increased so much that it was necessary to build a place for them to celebrate the Holy Sacrament and proclaim the Word of God.
The Upper East Regional Minister, Mr. Stephen Yakubu, says the government will continue to work with the Catholic Church for the needed development.
I wish to register the readiness of leadership in the region to collaborating effectively with the Church to take our relations to the next level.
Railways Development Minister, Mr. John Peter Amewu, in a message from Vice President Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, said the Catholic Church has partnered government to improve the delivery of health care, education, good governance, justice, peace, and many other areas of Ghanaian society. He said the Catholic Bishops' Conference still focuses on socio-political environment to enable God's people to live in freedom, peace, and dignity.
The Catholic Relief Services, since we are aware, since 1958, has worked with government to reduce poverty and improve the livelihoods of many vulnerables in our society by providing emergency medical supplies during critical times in our life.
The various speakers admonished believers in the country against materialism and get-rich-quick syndrome, which has currently driven some people in the country to steal, kill, and destroy. An appeal was made to the Tourism Ministry and the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board to collaborate and assist the committee in charge of the maintenance of the minor basilica to protect this national heritage.
Man-made solid materials, including trash and litter, are scattered across many beaches in the country. It is virtually the same in many areas, the shoulder of the road, markets and parks, as people drop their litter without a care. This habit is compounded by industrial wastewater leaking into rivers. On World Cleanup Day, an environmental agency, Let's Do It Ghana, and its allied partners embarked on a cleanup exercise at the Laboma Beach Resort in Accra. The call is for all to help to reduce waste.
Our seas and rivers are the lifeline of our cities, and yet many are polluted and flowing over with trash and debris or at risk of drying up. Let's Do It Ghana and its allied partners is drumming on the need to urgently take a broader and more significant action towards creating resilient cities and beaches in Accra. Australia's High Commissioner to Ghana, Mr. Gregory Andrews, who took part in the cleanup exercise, called on all to make it a habit to keep our beaches and environment tidy.
My advice to everybody worldwide is join in today and every day to reduce plastic pollution, to reduce littering, to recycle, and to create a healthier environment and a cleaner environment for everyone.
The leader of Let's Do It Ghana, Madam Ketopoku, told GBC News that it is imperative for behavioral change towards our environment.
We are appealing to everyone to stop indiscriminate littering, and then let's try as much as possible to refuse single-use plastics. Let's also reduce and reuse, and we appeal to manufacturers, that's the producers of these plastic products, that please, if we can't reuse your products or recycle it, please don't produce it, because it will end up destroying or polluting our environment.
The Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Beach Cleanup, known as Togbi Ghana, donated waste bins to the Laboma beach to help keep their coastline clean. Environmentalists say keeping our surroundings clean must be a daily habit and effort. They encourage all to take trash home and carry single-use food and beverage containers to keep our surroundings healthy.
Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO, Mr. Abdurrahman Diallo, has called for a safe working environment for the media in the country at a consultative meeting with journalists in Tamale, the northern regional capital. Mr. Diallo said authorities must provide a conducive environment for the media to practice their profession without fear. The meeting was organized by the National Media Commission, NMC, in collaboration with the Ministry of Information and UNESCO.
A report by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization says in the last decade, over 100 journalists over the world have lost their lives in line of duty. Even though the killings of journalists is not rampant in Ghana, the country has recorded some cases. At a meeting to deliberate on the provisions of a safe working environment for the media in Ghana, the country representative of UNESCO, Mr. Abdurrahman Diallo, was dissatisfied with the delay in the investigation and prosecution of perpetrators of crime against journalists in the country.
The shooting to death in 2019 of the investigative journalist Ahmed Hussein Swani. UNESCO Director General has urged Ghana as a UNESCO member state to inform her on the status of investigation of the killing of Ahmed Swani. To date, as you all know, no one has been apprehended for the murder and the case remains unsolved. Almost 4 years after.
The Executive Secretary of the National Media Commission, Mr. George Sapon, said the NMC is working with the Ministry of Information and UNESCO to come out with a framework to safeguard journalists.
We are working together to develop a framework that will enable all of us to create the safest environment for the practice of journalism. If you look across Africa, almost everybody agrees that we are the front runner when it comes to free expression and democracy.
The acting Northern Regional Chairman of the Ghana Journalists Association, Mr. Yakubu Abdul Majid, and the Regional Chairman of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association pledged their support towards the safety of journalists in the region and the country at large.
Ghana is lobbying to have the headquarters of the African Medicines Agency established in the country. The agency is a continental umbrella body under which all food and drugs regulatory bodies in Africa falls. Ghana is set to stand a better chance as its Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, is the second in Africa and the fifth in the world to have been rated at maturity level 3 by the World Health Organization. The chief executive of the FDA, Mrs. Elise Dakun, said efforts are underway to migrate the authority to level 4, which is the highest WHO credential for regulatory authorities. She disclosed this at the inauguration of the Food and Drugs Authority Board in Accra.
The African Medicine Agency is a proposed specialized agency of the African Union intended to facilitate the harmonization of medical regulation throughout the African Union. Following a similar module to that of the European Medicine Agency, it is intended to have a wide scope covering medicines, traditional medicine and medical devices. The African Medicine Agency is the latest step in efforts by the AU and regional African bodies to improve medical capacity on the continent. Such efforts are intended to address a deficiency in drug production and challenges posed by counterfeit and substandard products. Once it is created, it is expected that the agency will supervise and absorb roles currently carried out by other bodies.
If you want to access medicines quicker, you can go to what you call a centralized procedure, which means that once you apply, make the applications to the African Medicines Agency, it is registered for the whole of Africa, like you have the European Medicines Agency. Ghana is the right place to hold it because we have one of the strongest, if not the strongest, regulatory agency in Africa. And we have the necessary human resources as well in the country. Centers for clinical trials, big enough medical schools. Herbal medicine is thriving in Ghana, so we believe that to be one of the best countries to host the agency. So we are going to try and get it to one of our functions, which is safety, or what we call pharmacovigilance, is actually maturity level 4. And so we are aspiring, when you are maturity level 3, it means that you have a well-functioning regulatory system that can assure the quality of the medicines that are used in the country. When you get to maturity level 4, it means that your regulatory system is actually far advanced. So you can be rated with agencies like the US FDA, Swissmedic, UK MHRA. And one of our functions is already maturity level 4, and we are working hard towards achieving maturity level 4 for all the regulatory functions by the end of next year.
The treaty for the establishment of the African Medicines Agency was adopted by the AU in February 2019. It requires 15 ratification from the AU member states to come into effect.
It's time to recap some of the past week's news in pictures. You're still watching News Hour live on GBC News and GTV. We're taking a short break. Please don't go away.